Hello, everyone. It's Rick and Michael again from Heirloom Wealth Management. Today, we are going to talk about what the heck AI is, artificial intelligence. It's been in the news everywhere. A little company, little one named Nvidia, it's kind of taken over the press the last couple of days. Having a pretty good day today too. Having a great year, great last year. So, um, start off. What is AI? Are we talking like Terminator style? Are we talking Skynet? Are we talking spell check? Something in between. So, AI really, even as defined by the CEO of Nvidia yesterday, just comes down to adaptive computing. Adaptive being the key word. Guidelines are put in place, but the computers can learn from each other, learn from wrong decisions. You tell it to bake a cake, but you don't give it any other instructions other than it has to kind of look and taste like this. It's going to come up with a cake that you never thought to make before. That was kind of the example that a software engineer described to me at one time. Kind of made me think. But you get 10 computers all guessing 100 million times, sharing their results with each other. You've got quite a few guesses per day, and they're going to come up with something you never thought possible. In fact, it's actually faster to guess the solution to problems and situations than it is to actually come up with them and then just reverse engineer what the computers came up with. So to do that, though, and to really use it across the industries that we're seeing it kind of explode in, you need a pretty powerful chip. Semiconductors are the way of the future. So, I mean, God, how many times have we heard the word AI in an earnings call from people you didn't even expect to hear it from, right? I mean, it's bizarre.
It's everywhere.
It's literally like they think they're going to get a pop on their earnings if they mention AI, and they may not have anything to do with it. So, um, although Nvidia is kind of the leader in that space, and we do own a decent chunk of that added to it late last year, early this year. But
Yeah.
I mean, Nvidia is leading the charge. So, Mike, I mean, wow, show. I mean, Nvidia is going nuts right now. It's the darling of Wall Street. Kind of as it goes, the rest of the market's going. So, break down Nvidia for us real quick. Why is it so interesting right now?
Yeah, Nvidia is really powering the computing power that goes into AI through their chips. The two companies that we invest in the semiconductor space are ASML. ASML is based out of the Netherlands. They have a monopoly on the manufacturing equipment that builds these chips. So, if you want to build a computer chip that's below, and they measure these in nanometers, which are less than the tip of the size of the tip of your hair. I'm a bad example. I don't have much, but between them and the increasing need for computer processing chips, and what Nvidia does is design these chips, and it's really what was really interesting when you listen to the earnings calls. They're talking about some of their top verticals, the industries that they're seeing the most growth in: automotive, financial services, healthcare. So while this is a technology company and they're producing computer chips, the use cases for these computer chips are in a wide-ranging group of industries, which we've seen, if anything, a ramping up of growth. So we saw substantial growth last year, but it seems to be expediting. And I'll just go through some of the numbers on NVIDIA. And before I begin, when we look to value a business, it really boils down to simply what are the present value of the future cash flows that they're going to generate, combined with the balance sheet, which looks at, what are the assets, what are the liabilities. And let me just run through the numbers on this because they're, absolutely mind blowing. Revenue's up 265% year over year. Earnings per share are up 486%. They have a 76% gross margin. So when you look at their sales, subtract the cost of goods sold from that, there's still a lot of margin that they're able to build in, and they're trying to grow that to 77% this year.
Jeez.
So, profitability is absolutely stellar. Free cash flow, 27 billion in fiscal 24 versus 3.8 billion in 23. So significant growth in free cash flow. Free cash flow is important because that's what's left for us as owners of the business after paying the employees, the cost of goods sold, and reinvesting back into the business, capital expenditures for future growth. So tremendous growth, free cash flow. The balance sheet has $26 billion of cash, short-term marketable securities, and only $9.7 billion of debt. So we would
Yeah,
term
well,
that to be a solid net cash position. It's really a spectacular company in that sense
yeah,
from a free cash flow generation, growth of that in the future from what we're expecting, and a solid balance sheet that would allow it to weather potentially difficult times in the market, led by a brilliant management team. So
yeah.
while the company's stock price has absolutely gone parabolic, just moving up, the fundamentals, interestingly enough, are keeping up with that. At least when I looked at it yesterday, the price to earnings ratio was actually declined, even though the
No,
stock
well,
had
yeah.
done really well because the
And
earnings have been so
earnings.
strong.
It's up 15.2 as of right now. Today's Thursday, the 22nd. So
And when we talk about
that's
AI,
crazy.
we talk about semiconductors, computer chips. So I mentioned ASML, Nvidia. We also, two of our top holdings are Microsoft and Alphabet, which are going to be big in the AI space as well. Apple could be as another holding that we have in the portfolio. So
Yeah,
pretty exciting time for.
yeah. There's definitely some substance there. It's not with everybody, not every company has AI built into it like they like to, but I mean, it's definitely where we're seeing the most
Yeah, I think that's the
buzz.
exciting thing is the use cases
Yeah,
continue to grow, and so it's not something that you're looking at in the light of, okay, you think back on the tech bubble, for instance, in early 2000s, and you had a huge amount of excitement, justifiably so, around the internet. The problem was the companies had no fundamental earnings, sales. They were just going for
yeah,
ridiculous multiples. When you look at the companies that are driving this today, the fundamentals are robust. Free cash flow generation is extremely strong. Growth rates are
yeah. You used to think tech
fantastic.
companies as like growth companies, but you look at their cash on hand now; it's insane.
Yeah,
It's like not really
very,
growth.
very strong
Yeah,
fortress balance
yeah,
sheets for the businesses we own in the space. We remain convicted that these are continuing to be great businesses on a forward-looking basis, not just what they've done in the past.
yeah.
So,
It's
feel
important is we look at discounted cash flow, that free cash flow Mike's talked about. Like we're looking at doesn't do a lot of good to look in the rear of your mirror as you're trying to invest going forward. So free cash flow, discounted cash flow. That's what that future cash is worth today. So that's our
and
best goal of how we
I think that's where a
value a
lot
company.
of people have gotten thrown is that when you look at trailing metrics, price to earnings, for instance, you're looking at what is the price today versus the last 12 months earnings.
I get asked that so much. Like price to earnings looks. I'm like, well, eh.
Yeah, I mean,
it's great, but it's not really what we look at entirely. So
it's a useful data point. It's something that you want to look at, but really what we care most about when we're investing in anything, real estate, bonds, stocks, what's the cash flows it's going to generate for me after tax in the future for my investment time horizon, and then we discount that back to what we think it's
yeah.
worth today. So
Exciting times, a lot coming up. I think this year is probably going to be classified by AI and Nvidia, but we shall see. It is early; it's only February, so. But that's AI in a nutshell. Nvidia is off to a fantastic start. It ended last year fantastic, and if you're with us, you own it. So, as always, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you soon. Hey guys, if you like that, click here or here to see other videos that we've recorded, and we'll see you soon.